Blog Talk Radio.
Alternative facts.
The following message is transmitted at the request of the United States government. At 12:07 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time, numerous unidentified objects of unknown intent and unknown origin were detected at high altitudes over multiple locations of Earth's outer space by the National Radio Astronomy Observatory, and these objects are presumed to be some form of controlled aircraft. It is not known if more of these aircraft will arrive, or if they will attempt entering Earth's atmosphere. United States citizens are encouraged to monitor local media outlets, as more updates will follow as information becomes available. The following message is transmitted at the request of the United States government. Attacks by the undead have been reported in several states across the country. The dead are rising from their graves and are attacking the human race. At this time, it is expected that more attacks of this nature will occur in several other states in the next few hours. The intent behind their attack is unknown at this time. He has been observed that a bike or exchange of fluids is a method of transmission. This is an extremely dangerous situation if they crave the taste of human flesh. It is not known whether this event will last for hours, days, or even longer. Stay calm, as authorities have been dispatched to deal with these creatures. An all-clear siren will be sounded when this situation is under control. Pacific Standard Time, nor is detected a long-range nuclear missile launching. This missile is believed to be headed in the direction of all residents within a 400-mile radius of this area should seek a fallout shelter immediately.
Welcome to Within the Chaos with your host, Rodney the Viking Shortridge, co-host Melinda the Raven Jackson. Want to give a big old shout out to the Facebook Paranormal groups that allow us to post our shows on their pages and helping us to get the word out about all of our guests. Also, a shout out to the Connor sisters. Hats off to Misty and Ashley. They are the founders of SOS Sisters of Salem Paranormal Research Society and host of their podcast, Paranormal Party. You can find them on Facebook under Paranormal Party. If anyone would like to speak to Black Diamond Paranormal Society, BDPS, to discuss your paranormal questions or issues, go to our website at blackdiamondps.org or email blackdiamondps@yahoo.com. As always, our services are free.
Good evening, everyone, and thank you for joining us tonight. You can listen in by calling 516-387-1922, or you can go to the Vibe Radio Network website at blogtalkradio.com/Vibe Radio Network. For deep within the heart of the Appalachian Mountains, I'd like to welcome everyone and thank you for listening to Within the Chaos. My name is Rodney Shortridge, and I'll be your host tonight. along with my beautiful raven, Melinda Jackson. First off, I'd like to give a shout out to my cousins up in Ohio, Jennifer and Joe Shortridge of 222 Paranormal. If you get a chance, check out their talk show. You can find them on Facebook under 222 Paranormal.
Do you hear him? The Phantom is coming. Are you ready?
Phantom Fest is going to be held on November 3rd in Lebanon, Virginia at the Russell County Convention Center. You won't want to miss this one-of-a-kind con that combines all the mysteries and the macabre of UFOs, paranormal, gaming, horror, authors, comics, FX, metaphysical, spiritual, and more. Join us for $7 at the door. Tickets will only be $5 if you bring 2 non-perishable items for a local food bank. Children up to the age of 6 can join us for free. There will be costume contests, speakers, and just the camaraderie of freaks alike. Join us for the first ever Phantom Fest. You won't want to miss this.
If you would like to participate as a vendor or a sponsor or just to visit the con, please reach out to either Rodney Shortridge of Black Diamond Paranormal or Missy and Ashley Connor of the Connor Sisters.
Well, hello everyone. Sorry that we're getting late to get on, but had some technical problems, and I think I got it all worked out. Seeing how that we wasn't able to do our Halloween special on Samhain, we moved it to tonight, so I hope everyone is patient with us. And if we go over, I'll post it up on our YouTube channel, which I'm sure we probably will, and you can hear the extra parts that they'll end up cutting us off at 10 o'clock. So with that being said, our special guest tonight is our very own Melinda Jackson and Krissie Cline. Melinda Raven Jackson, Lady Knox, Divination is scrying. Did I say it right?
Scrying, yes.
Scrying. A rough time, so bear with me. I'm not my giddy self tonight. She's also an investigator and event coordinator for Black Diamond Paranormal Society since August 2016. She's also the co-host of Within the Chaos, which you all know, here on Blogtalkradio since this month makes you 1 year anniversary. Happy anniversary.
Well, thank you.
How's been your first year with the rod?
It's been wonderful.
All right. Melinda, like I said, she's a paranormal investigator. She's a sensitive, a spiritual healer, background in business and nursing. She is of Native American descent. She is a proud pagan woman with spiritual gifts that have been passed down from her strong Native, from the strong Native women in her family. Melinda is a Pagan High Priestess from a pagan church in Richlands, Virginia. My little buddy Krissie Cline is 24 years old, and she has been into witchcraft since she was 14. A little over 2 years ago is when she took it upon herself to study witchcraft every day. Krissie met Melinda, and she has helped her become the witch that she is today. Being a pagan and doing the craft has helped her in so many ways that she has never imagined. It's helped her cope with past life traumas. It's helped her overcome obstacles. Krissie's divination is the Ouija board. She is also practicing scrying and tarot cards. The gift she is practicing is healing. And so without any further ado, I want to go ahead and click Krissie over. So can you hear us, Krissie?
Yes.
All right. Let me see. Well, like I said, it's an honor to have my two closest friends, Melinda Jackson and Krissie Cline, on, and I want to thank you all for being patient and coming on the show tonight and talking about y'all's your skills and Samhain and such. So I'll start with you, Melinda. Mm-hmm. Could you give us a little bit of information about yourself, other than what I just said?
I mean, that was in a nutshell. I am pagan. I am a high priestess. I do practice magic. I do have gifts. and they did come from my Native American family. I do teach. I have a coven that I'm a part of down in Richlands, and we are teaching classes right now, one Saturday a month. I think you pretty much said everything else.
All right. How about you, Krissie? What can you tell us about yourself that I didn't cover?
I don't really think I have anything other than, how I have hopes that maybe one day I'll be a priestess.
I definitely see that.
My goal to be a witch is to be a priestess.
Yeah, for me and Krissie.
That's for both of you.
Yes. I mean, because the definition of a high priestess is being a teacher, a healer, somebody who's knowledgeable of the craft, who wants to help other people find their path, whether it's pagan or Wiccan.
Okay, Krissie, how about you?
What was the question?
I lost the question again.
Is the ultimate goal for you being a high priestess?
Yes, it is, because I really do want to help people. I love helping people. I love teaching people as much as I can, and I just want a lot of knowledge.
Okay. So, seeing how that you're studying and everything, and so these questions I want to kind of bounce back and forth with you all. I'll start with Melinda on this one. So, what is Samhain, and when and where did Samhain originate?
Samhain is Halloween, and it originated with the Celts. Well, actually, a lot of different places. Actually, it was originally to scare off and ward off, spirits or whatever. But mainly, Samhain is when the veil is thin between the worlds. And that's when you're supposed to give honor to your ancestors, people who have passed on before you.
Well, why do people celebrate Samhain, and why do people, still celebrate it today?
Well, it depends on who you ask. If you ask a pagan, we celebrate it because it's the witch's new year. And like I said, it's very important to us because that is when the veil between the worlds is within us. So we are able to, invoke spirits, talk to, like I said, to our dead, loved ones or whoever, our gods or goddesses. Okay, well,
Krissie, seeing how you're a student, I'm going to throw you some questions out there. Pop quiz time, girl. What is All Saints Day?
All Saints Day?
Uh-huh.
I don't know how Wayne. I don't know that one.
Okay, Melinda, passing to you.
It's Hallows Eve.
Okay. Now, what's so special about that day?
Because it is the precursor to Samhain.
Oh, okay. Now, did the church have anything to do with this then, how it says saints in it?
Well, I mean, yeah, there's a lot of history with it because of like Constantine, who was he was a pagan king, and I'm blank.
Okay, that's all right. Okay, well, you might have to help me pronounce this one. What is a theme?
Athame.
Athame.
An athame is a black-handled ceremonial double-edged dagger. It is which is used for ceremony, but you never cut with it. You never cut anything with it.
So it's a sacred type knife?
It's very sacred, yes. And black-handled is the most sacred.
Now, is this like something that's passed down throughout?
Every witch finds their own.
Oh, so you have your own dagger.
Athame, yes.
Well, I say dagger, but you say athame.
Right.
Okay. Do you have one, Krissie?
Yes, I just recently bought one a couple months back. I've used it a few times already.
So you do use it when you have your what, prayers or rituals or
whatever's dealing with witchcraft.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, what did the ancient people use for offerings, in their time, especially during Halloween and Samhain?
I don't really know much about the ancients because there's so much folklore with it. Because they would do bonfires and things like that and dance around and usually sky clad, which means naked. But there's folklore about animal sacrifices, human sacrifices, and things like that. That's not anything that I'm a part of. Like I said, for me, I usually just have an altar, and my mother's on my altar right now, and that's basically it.
Okay. So, what is the wheel of the year?
Wheel of the year, that is our Sabbath, our holidays. There's 8 of them. Samhain is the start because that's the witch's new year, so we start our year with Samhain. As I said, that's when the veil between the worlds is the thinnest. You're able to converse, with your loved ones. Then you have Yule. The Christians call it Christmas. You have Imbolc, which is the first sign of spring. The name in Gaelic means in the belly, and what that means is the stirring of, Mother Earth's womb. That means whatever seeds that are in the ground are now pushing their way up to start growing again.
Okay.
So Stara, that is the spring equinox. It's a fertility holiday. There's so much going on here behind me. You have some people call it Beltane, others call it Beltana. Some people know it as May Day, Lady Day. It's a fire and fertility holiday. It's the union of the god and the goddess, so it is also a fertility holiday. You have Litha, that's the summer solstice. It's the first day of summer. It's the longest day of the year. You have Lammas, which is the first harvest. That's usually when the corn and the wheat is gathered, and it's to honor the sun god Lu. And then you have Mabon, which is the autumn equinox. It's a time of balance and second harvest, usually fruit. And that's when night and day is equal.
Okay. Krissie, this question is for you. Can you describe and maybe explain where the symbols of Halloween come from, such as the colors orange and black, the jack-o'-lantern, the black cat, owls, the cauldron, bats, etc. And what are the pagan symbols for Halloween?
Well, I know, I believe orange represents like the harvest and black represents the death. Is that right, Melinda?
Black also represents negativity. It's also a protection candle or spell.
Now, I know the jack-o'-lanterns, they were first started in turnips, and it was like scary faces to, ward off the spirits and the evil things, scare them away. The pagan symbols? Melinda, help me out.
If they are in pagan symbols, I don't know if they are or not.
Well, you have
what?
The triple goddess, the maid, mother, and crone.
Okay. Well, what about can you explain the veil? What is the veil and what does it mean? In terms of the spiritual world.
You got that one, Krissie.
Yeah, that was for Krissie. I'm sorry.
Okay.
The veil, to me, it would just be like the veil between the spirit world and the human world. It's very thin, and they're walking among us on that night.
Okay. Well, this one's for you, Melinda. Is there any evidence of any human sacrifices during, like Halloween back in the day, or Samhain, or any other Celtic or pagan rituals?
I mean, the folklore, yes. I mean, they did say that they did do that.
Mm-hmm.
It's not something that's done today, obviously, but but yes. I mean, if you read the folklore, yes. You gotta be careful about what's written, because not everything is true.
Why would they use human sacrifice?
Because there's power in the blood.
But what about the death?
What do you mean?
Well, you're taking a life, which is blood is the life source for life. But wouldn't that be negative, taking someone's life source from them to further gain something for you?
Well, I mean, it's like I said, it's not something that I believe in. That's not something I would practice even back then. But I mean, different covenants, different cultures and things, they do different things.
Okay. Well, Krissie, maybe you know this one. Can you explain Sabbath? Am I saying that right? Sabbath. What it is and what it does, or how
Can
it
I
works?
explain what? I didn't hear what it was.
Sabbath.
Sabbath. I don't know what that is.
That is the terminology for our holidays.
Oh.
It's the same thing as holiday.
Oh.
It's like I was explaining earlier. It's our eight holidays that we celebrate.
That's what I thought it was. I was like, didn't we already go over it? So, okay.
That's all right. Well, how do these traditions of celebrating, the harvest, survive after all of these thousands of years, with all these different other religions taking a foothold later in throughout the years?
Well, first of all, the pagan belief is very strong. They're very strong-minded people, and like I tell everybody, not only paganism, but shamanism and the Native American beliefs, they hold true because it's passed down from our ancestors. We love nature. We love Mother Earth. We give thanks for everything. We don't take anything for granted. We were never wasteful. We were never without thanking our gods and goddesses for their blessings.
Krissie, maybe you can explain this. What is a pagan, and what does it mean to be pagan?
Well, I've read that some people consider anything not Christian or Muslim a pagan. But to me, pagan is just, a love of nature and the gods and goddesses and, just magic. That's what it means to me. You have, your own path, but you don't harm anything.
Okay. Well, what does soul cake have to do with witches? Either one of you.
I don't know about the soul cake.
Do you, Krissie?
It must be weird.
No.
Well, from what I understand about it, and I could be wrong, that it was a cake that they fed the witches. If I'm not mistaken, was it they fed the witches to find out if they were a witch? And something about peeing in it or something?
I don't know.
Oh, okay.
I don't know that one.
Okay, I don't either, but I could be wrong. What about bonfires? Either one of you did. I mean, does that have anything to do with your old worshiping?
Absolutely.
Why is a bonfire so important?
Because fire is one of our elements. Earth, air, fire, water. And usually the bonfires are definitely during the fire holiday. It gives us light at night to dance and celebrate and to pray.
Okay. Well, what about the pentagram? either one of you, why is that so special? What can you tell us the history of it? Because, so many people today, they see the pentagram, they're like, oh my gosh, it's the mark of the devil.
Well, actually, the pentagram was used by the Christians. They used it. It stood for the 5 wounds of Christ. Then they discontinued using it because with science evolving, it was speculation about whether or not somebody could be crucified that long without, falling off, ripping through the flesh. So their Christ went from his arms being from east to west to both being over his head. And with that being said, then it eliminated the point. So they stopped using it. Now we use it to stand for the spirit and earth, air, fire, water.
Okay. Well, what can you tell, people about, Christian holidays and pagan holidays? Because from what I understand, isn't a lot of Christian holidays basically pagan holidays?
You want to do that one, Krissie?
Yes, you got Christmas, which is Yuletide, and you got Easter, which is Ostara, and you know how they determine Easter?
How?
It's the very first, I think it's the first full moon on the first Sunday after the first vernal equinox. That's how they determine it. That has nothing really to do with, to my opinion, Jesus' resurrection.
But do you think Christianity may have maybe copied or
absolutely
stole
yes
the pagan holidays?
Oh yeah.
What happened was Constantine, he was a pagan king, and then he converted over to Christianity. And at first he tried to convert other pagans to come over to Christianity, and we're strong-minded people. We love our faith and our belief, and we didn't. So what he did was he started placing Christian holidays near our holidays to kind of weed us out. But ours was there first.
Okay.
A lot of people, especially a lot of Christians that don't believe in our ways, they still practice it, which is really funny. Like me and Krissie was talking one day. It's like, they dress their kids up and they give them little baskets, and they're out here collecting eggs for what they call Easter. And that is a star for us, and that's a fertility holiday. That's where the eggs come from. That's also the time where the maiden, if you're considered a maiden, that means you've already had your first menstruation, which means you are, back then, when you menstruated, you were considered a woman, which means you were able to get pregnant and have babies. So that was also a time for the maidens to get their brooms and decorate them, because the shaft of the broom, the handle stands for the shaft of a man, and the bristles, they stand for the woman's hair, because there's power and energy in the woman's hair when it's flowing and it's beautiful. And the maidens used to decorate the bristles with flowers, and it was kind of like a very first dating site, because the ladies would get out there and they would ride the brooms around in the field, and the guys would stand around and seeing who was attractive and who they were where they were attracted to. So it's really funny when I see the little kids running around with their baskets and stuff, because a lot of them don't even know what they're celebrating, because it has absolutely nothing to do with with their Christ.
Well, I'm going to go back for a second. You said something earlier about being naked. What does nudity have to do with any of your celebrations or gatherings, or
it's being free. It's being showing yourself to be free and open, to the gods.
So this ain't nothing sexual. It's just
It can be sexual.
What do you mean by that?
I mean, it depends on what coven you're in. Some covens they do have sex. Basically, when we get together, it's about dancing and feasting and love, making love.
So there's nothing special about having sex during these celebrations. It's just to have sex, or is there like trying to get somebody pregnant for a reason?
Yeah, it's about impregnating. Yes.
Oh, okay. Okay. Well, Krissie, what is a witch? And who was the first witch, and how does it play a part in your religion and your beliefs?
I don't know who the first witch was. I know who the first witch was to get hung in the Salem witch trials because I've read about her, Bridget Bishop. But being a witch, I guess in a lot of people's opinions, it's just, doing magic in nature and worshiping something other than, the Christian God. But I'm not really, to me, it's just an opinionated.
Mm-hmm. Well, are witches evil? I mean, like where so many people, especially in our area, well, a lot around the world, look at witches as being evil, that you all worship Satan and all that. Is that true?
He's not in the craft. We don't acknowledge him. And it's really unfair because there's good and bad in everything. But when you say witch, it's automatically bad. There is no good. If you say Christian, then it's up to the person, whether they're good Christian or bad Christian. It's a really bad stigma.
So what is a witch? I mean, seriously, what?
A witch is somebody who has the ability to be a healer. You can be a midwife. Are you okay, Krissie?
Yeah, I'm listening.
Oh, okay.
Well, who is the first witch?
That's up for interpretation. Some people say Lilith.
Oh, okay.
Then again, in their Bible, it talks about the witch of Endor. But as far as somebody who was, trying to find the dates here. I'm sorry. I'm all over the place. It was in 1692, a special court in Salem. It was Bridget Bishop, as Krissie had mentioned already. As far as in 1692, she was the one that they were all saying was the first one to be called a witch and killed.
I guess she was burned at the stake. Was that a big thing, being burned or hung or what?
I mean, you'd be burned, you could be hung, or they would drown you,
Mm-hmm. Well, where is it in the Bible that there's proof that there was, someone, maybe not named Lilith, but maybe another woman that was created? Where is that written at?
In Genesis 1:27, it says, so God created mankind in his own image. In the image of God, he created them, male and female. He created them the same. And then it goes on in Genesis 2:22, talking about Eve. So, then she was made from his rib. So that's a contradiction, because in one place it says they were made of the same, man and woman, and then it was saying that woman was made from Adam's rib. That's where Lilith comes from. That's why we believe that she was the first woman.
Okay. Chris, I'm going to jump back to you on this one. Why does a cauldron, and actually what is a cauldron, and why does it have 3 legs? What's so important about it?
Well, I know the 3 legs represents the maiden, the mother, and the crone. Like everything's in 3s because that's what it represents. The cauldron, I don't have one yet, so I don't really know what the use is for because I haven't used one yet. But I do know what they represent.
The cauldron is where you do your spells. You make potions and herbs and things of that nature.
Also, always movies and stuff showing them at a big cauldron and putting a rat tail in it and blood of this and spice of that. That's how they're making their
potions or
your
spells.
potions and spells. Yeah.
Yes, there's a lot of truth in that.
Oh, okay. Well, Krissie, why does a witch turn a broom upside down?
Like with the bristles facing up?
Yeah.
It's to ward off negative.
Oh, okay. So, why does a witch have a hat that's pointed? What's the purpose of that? Krissie.
Oh, okay.
Oh, well, from what I learned, the pointy part, I think it was the highest point to the moon and had all the energy.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I've learned.
So it's like a conductor for like moon energy? What you're saying?
It's energy anyway, just going up, it's their energy going up towards the god.
So does the length of a witch's hat have anything to do with the pointiness of it?
No,
I mean,
no.
Okay. Well, this is for either one of you to answer it. What is Hallow Mass, Krissie?
What is what?
Hallow Mass.
I'm not sure what that is.
Mass is usually when everybody gets together, doing spells, bringing in crops, bringing in things to the gods. It really just depends on whatever you're celebrating.
Okay. Well, does the occult have anything to do with witchcraft?
For me.
How about you, Krissie?
No.
Okay, this is for you, Melinda. Who is the founder of Wicca? And what is Wicca?
Wicca is an extension. Well, first of all, it was Gerard Gardner. Wicca is an extension of paganism. It has taken what the ancient ones have taught us and have always been, and kind of not improving. I'm trying to think what word. Keeping it going, keep it more modern day, I guess. Now, I practice the old ways, although I am helping to teach Wicca.
Okay. Now, can someone be taught? I mean, you have natural gifts that you say that you're born with.
Yeah.
And then there's people that aren't born with these. Can people that's not been born with these gifts actually learn to control or have these types of gifts?
You have to be blessed by the gods. But yes, the knowledge, obviously, you could learn. Mm-hmm. Whether or not you obtain the gifts or the abilities, that's really up between you and your God.
Well, Krissie, what is a Wiccan rule of three?
Oh, like the rule? Like if you put out, it comes back to you 3 times?
Yes, that's it.
Like I believe, let's say you do a love spell on somebody that you're not supposed to do. I believe it's going to come, you're going to get more than what you asked for. It's going to come back 3 times worse than what you asked for.
Oh, okay. So if you're saying if you do something bad, like a bad spell on someone, they'll come back on you 3 times worse?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh. So what's the difference between a good witch and a bad witch?
Her heart, her intentions.
Oh, okay. Well, what's soul lights? I've heard that has play in either pagan or Wiccan. What does that have?
I think that's Wiccan. I don't know. I don't know that one.
Oh, okay.
Do you know that one, Krissie?
No, I don't know that one.
What about Black Halloween? No.
I think that's Wiccan too. I'm pagan, so I'm still learning Wicca and teaching. So.
Now, does a skeleton have anything to do with y'all's religion or beliefs?
I mean, I use them as decor, and I have them on my altar. For me, it represents death. It represents my ancestors.
Okay, Krissie, seeing how you deal with tarot cards, what can you tell us about tarot cards, and do they have a role within, your beliefs and paganism or anything like that?
Well, I can't tell you much because they are very hard. Trying to teach myself, so I can't really tell you much on them right now.
Tarot cards is a way to invoke spirit. It's a way to open up portals. I personally don't. That's not my divination. Mine is scrying. So they are very hard. They're very hard. You have to learn each one. Each one of them has different meanings. As Krissie said, my high priest, he has been doing tarot cards for 30 years, and he's still learning.
Wow. Well, I know you mentioned the Witch of Endor. Who was the Witch of Endor? What did you mean by that?
She was the witch that's mentioned in the Bible by the request of King Saul. He wanted her to summon the prophet Samuel's spirit. He had tried every other way to do it. So he had people around him to go out and find somebody who had those abilities, even though that was something that they weren't supposed to do.
Oh, okay. Well, I know when we was talking about Lilith earlier, can you explain what a succubus is, and was Lilith a succubus?
They say that she was a succubus. And a succubus is a female demon who visits men at night, appearing in their dreams to have sex with them. It's also said that repeated sex acts can cause mental health problems, even death.
Well, Krissie, what does blessed be mean to a witch?
Blessed be?
Yeah, blessed be, yeah.
Well, I don't know. I say blessed be, but I really don't know what the meaning is.
It's our greeting. It means good. It means hello and goodbye. It's kind of like aloha.
Oh, okay.
It's always saying hello and goodbye. Whenever we do something, whether it's magic or getting together and teaching and learning. When we depart from each other, we'll say blessed be.
Oh, okay. Well, Krissie, what does the moon symbolize in your beliefs?
The moon to me, it has so much energy, and you have the moon cycles, and the moon cycles represent the maiden, the mother, and the crone, and it's the different times.
Okay. Well, Melinda, what is the concept of polarity? What does that mean?
Concept of polarity?
Mm-hmm.
It's the idea that the universe is held in balance by two equal but opposite forces. The god, the goddess, and another example is yin and yang.
Okay. Krissie, what's the Book of Shadows?
The Book of Shadows is a witch's personal journal where she writes down her spells and what happens after and during the spells, and it's just her own little personal journal.
A diary.
What is it?
I said a witch's diary.
You just tell your little spells and stuff in it.
Well, do either one of you believe in reincarnation?
I do.
Yes, I strongly believe in it. Yes. I do believe we are reincarnated.
Do you think either one of you all been reincarnated?
Oh, yes.
I do. I have deja vu all the time.
I have deja vu all the time, but I do believe I was reincarnated.
Well, what makes y'all think that you, I mean, besides being, have a deja vu, do y'all have an example of what makes you feel like you've had a past life?
I mean, I've seen people and knew that during this time that I've never met them before, but I know them. Or things like that have happened to me, or be somewhere and be like, I've been here before.
Okay.
And I want to also elaborate as far as reincarnation. A saying within a coven is once a witch, always a witch. So I do believe that in my past lives that I was also a witch.
Well, what is a coven? I know we mentioned that quite a bit. I don't think I've asked that, but what is a coven?
A coven is a group of witches.
Is there a certain amount that can be in a coven?
13 is generally the number to make a complete coven.
Why 13?
I really don't know why. It's just always been 13. And it's usually 12 members and then a high priestess.
But don't 13 supposed to represent, like, bad luck?
Not to me, it doesn't.
Okay.
That's superstition. That's along with the black cat crossing the road. You're going to wreck your car.
Put the X's on the windows,
That's
boy.
right.
Mm-hmm. Well, this is for either one of you that can answer this. What does waxing and waning of the moon mean?
Oh, Krissie, you know this one.
Waxing means it's going to the full moon. It's starting over, and then waning is to the new moon.
That's exactly.
Okay. Well, Krissie, then what are the elements?
North is earth, south is fire, east is air, and west is water.
Oh, okay. Well, what would happen? This is for I guess for either one of you. What happens to a witch if they use their gifts for evil? Either one of you.
I believe karma. Karma's going to get you hard.
I believe your life that you're living now is shortened.
Oh, okay. Okay, so what's the pinnacle?
The pinnacle is a pentagram with a circle around it.
And what's its purpose? Does it have a purpose?
It does. It represents the 5 elements inside an unbroken circle.
Okay. Well, Krissie, why do witches ring a bell for a ritual?
It calls upon the goddess or the god you're invoking.
Okay. Well, does the number of rings on a bell have a meaning?
Yes.
I know you do. Oh, that's for Melinda?
It's for you, or either one of you, but since you're answering.
I know I ring it 3 times because everything comes in 3s. I always just stick with 3s.
Well, actually, 3 clears negative energy, so that way you can then start your ritual. 5 invokes the elements. 7 calls the dead, and 9 invokes the gods.
So is this?
I didn't know that.
Is this some kind of special bell? I mean, or is it just like any type bell you can use?
Just any kind of bell.
Oh. Well, Melinda, this is for you. When is Pagan Tree Day, and what is Pagan Tree Day?
Okay, Pagan Tree Day is on April 29th. On this day, it is a tradition to plant a tree to honor your favorite pagan goddess or god. It's also another way to give back to nature.
Okay. Well, Krissie, what does the perfect love and perfect trust mean?
Well, I know when you enter the circle, you always enter it with perfect love and perfect trust because you don't want to enter it with fear in your heart and negative energy because we're going to keep the good energy in.
Okay. Okay, Melinda, what is one of the witch's laws that is widely accepted?
Doest thy will and harm none. And what that means is, as long as you're doing good, with healing or whatever your gifts are to help or uplift or teach or whatever, as long as you do good and harm none, then you will be blessed.
Well, Melinda, during the witch hunt, how many witches were killed or people killed worldwide? Do they have any numbers on that?
Yes, worldwide it was estimated 275,000.
God dang. That's a lot of folks. Mm-hmm. How did they prove or try to prove that someone was a witch?
Well, I mean, they, like I said, they would try to drown them. And then burn them if they if they were witches, supposedly if they were burned and would show their true self. But then they're dead anyway, so.
Well, they ain't a witch now.
It's like, oops, she was telling the truth.
Well, shit, bury her. We're good. Well, I've noticed that you all mentioned quite a bit the Maiden Mother from Crone. Does she have a name?
Diana.
And who is she? I mean,
she is to us what Jehovah is to Christians. She is our God, our goddess.
Oh, okay. Okay. Krissie, what's a familiar?
A familiar is like a little pet that you have. Most of them, have cats. I have a cat. I do strongly believe he was my familiar before I got into the witchcraft because it was, our relationship was so different than any other animal I had. But you can have birds or you can have any animal. They just kind of guide you in your craft and your practice.
Yeah, it's a conduit through which a witch can channel her power.
Okay. So what kind of conduit would they? So it's a pet that is a conduit for the power.
Yes, they choose you. They're there to assist you to.
Is that where the black cat comes from?
Black cat, an owl, a frog.
Oh, okay. Well, I know y'all mentioned the high priestess. What is a high priestess and who is the high priestess?
Well, first of all, it takes many years to become one, and there's certain things that you have to know. But she's the one that holds authority over the coven.
Can it be a male? I mean, are they male witches?
Yes, there are male witches, and they're high priests.
Well, what about warlocks? What are they? Are they part of the pagan religion?
Well, warlocks back in the day was a terminology that was used for a male witch. But it was later not used because of it was deemed something him being a liar or him turning his back on the good, doing evil. A lot of times now warlocks that is used towards Satanism.
Okay. Well, Krissie, what's the Great Rite? Or Rite? Am I saying that right?
Great Rite.
Yeah, the Great Rite.
Melinda, I don't know if I know that.
Okay, that the Great Rite is a ritual that you do. You have a dagger and a chalice. The dagger represents the male, and the chalice is the feminine. And it represents the joining of the god and the goddess in a sexual manner. When we were talking about earlier about some covens actually, having sex, that would be the time that you would do it.
Okay. Well, Krissie, do you know what a hand fasting is?
A hand casting is like a pagan wedding. It's like y'all are married, but you don't take his last name, and you don't go through all that, government paperwork and stuff.
It's a spiritual bonding. It's not government.
So could you be married to someone like that and actually be married to someone else legally? Like
no, because we take it as for us it is a binding.
Okay.
We see it as being, we don't have a piece of paper, but that to us is very important. It is a ritual. It is something that you go through. You do profess your love to each other. You promise to love each other, and it's just not. There's no paper. You don't have to pay nobody. It's free. It's a spiritual.
Okay. Well, Krissie, what are the moon cycles?
What are the moon what?
Cycles?
The moon cycles?
Yeah.
There's like the new moon and the waxing moon, and then you got the full moon and the waning moon.
Why is that so important? To know that.
Because that's when you know what the goddess is, where she's at in the cycle, where she's at, whether she's the maiden, the mother, or the crone.
So she changes during each cycle of the moon?
Yes, you have birth, and you have, the living, and then you have the death.
Okay. Well, what are the runes? Am I saying that right? Runes, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's for either one of you.
It's our magical alphabet.
Oh, okay. And who came up with that? Do you all know that?
No, it's just always been.
Well, who's the green man? Krissie?
I don't think I've learned about him yet.
Okay.
The green man, he's God. He is the one that does the great rite with the goddess. He is a symbol of rebirth. He represents a cycle of growth each spring. He is the one that gets mistaken for Satan because he's the horned god. He's Pan.
Oh, okay. Well, do y'all know how many pagans are in the United States?
There's in the United States there's 1.2 million, and global is 3 million.
There ain't many of y'all, are there?
Well, a lot of us are in the broom closet still. I have a lot of Christians that are in the broom closet that come by and ask me to do things for them, so maybe they'll come out one day.
Come on out. Come on out, people. So, do you know how old the pagan religion is?
From what I've read and been told, it's 26,000 years old.
Wow. That's older than Christianity.
Yes, it is.
Krissie, can you tell me what the quickening is and, explain?
The quickening to a pagan is like a baptism to a Christian. It's kind of like you're one with them now. The high priestess or priest is like a ritual with you, and I actually just had mine recently.
So what is the process of the quickening? Krissie?
For me? Oh.
Yeah.
Melinda can answer that one because I don't remember.
Yeah, she was nervous and excited.
Oh, okay.
That's when a circle is made. This is a time when in the center of the circle we have offerings for the gods. And this is the time when when the high priestess asks, how do you enter the circle, and that's where imperfect love and perfect trust comes in. And you come in and you just do the ceremony.
Okay. Krissie,
what does divination mean?
I can't believe I was lost. I had it earlier and lost it.
I'm all over the place too.
Cheers. Pardon?
You said what's a divination?
Yeah.
Divination is kind of like foreseeing, like tarot cards can, tell your future, crystal ball. Scrying can, see into the other world. It's kind of like towards future telling.
And it's also invoking. As you can invoke the gods, and you can get your answers.
Okay. What is a bowl line? Am I saying that right?
Bowl line, yeah.
For you.
For me?
Yeah.
That is which is nice that we actually use for cutting. We use it to cut our herbs and whatever else that we need to use it for.
Okay. Krissie, this is for you. From what I understand, when I was reading, your bio, you work with the Ouija board. Can you explain, to everyone why and what got you into delving into the Ouija board?
I was always interested in it, and there's a lot of rules to it because if you're not careful, you can let something out. And it's happened to me a couple of times. Something tried to get out, and then I think one time I did let something out. That's when I very first did it. It's just, it's like you're talking to the other world, but you don't know what you're really talking to, so you just have to be careful. There's a lot of signs that on the board it'll tell you when something's trying to get out.
Oh, okay. Well, would you, from what I've read and understand with a lot of people, playing around with the Ouija board is not a good thing. Do you suggest people playing with it or messing with it or not?
After my experiences, no. Unless you really know what it took me a couple of years to really know what I was doing. It was trial and error, and I let something in my house one time. So, no, don't play with one.
Okay. Well, Krissie, why did you decide to become pagan?
I never believed in the Bible, and I didn't like how there were so many rules that they would use the scare tactic. If you're gay, you're going to burn in this lake of fire. And there was just, no love to me. And I was like, I don't want to live life like this. I want to be free because I'm a good person. I don't harm nobody. But I, want to go my own path. I don't like rules.
Uh-oh, she don't like rules. Oh no! But don't witchcraft? Don't you have rules to go by?
Well, I mean, just do as I will and harm none, basically.
Yeah, just be a good person. Don't harm, don't steal, don't kill.
Yeah. Use your gifts. If you're born with gifts or you're blessed with them, you do it for good. Don't do it for power. Don't do it for greed. Any of those things.
Well, what do you do when somebody's wronged you? I mean, how do you all react to it? You just let it go?
Well, see, I'm pagan, and Diana says that we do have the right to, get karma. We do believe in karma.
So so y'all's karma is like the Bible's eye for an eye.
Pretty much.
Okay. Okay, Krissie, what does smudging mean?
Smudging?
Mm-hmm.
Like saging? Sage the house,
yes.
Take the sage.
Yes, that's what that means.
Get rid of the negativity.
Can you get rid of a spirit through smudging that's maybe trapped in a home or a location?
Yes.
Is that for me? Oh.
I didn't know either.
Well,
yes.
I guess I'm going to have to do follow-up, Krissie. Follow-up.
What was the question? Can you get rid of something by smudging?
Yeah, like a spirit that's in a home or a ghost or evil spirit that's on a location.
Yeah, negative energy.
What about the type of energy that's there? What about positive energy if it's bad?
The positive energy is because when you're smudging, it seems smudging irritates anything negative because it's positive. It's positive energy. So if it's something that's positive, it's actually going to vamp them up. They're not going to. It's not going to affect them.
Well, what is actually the contents of what you use to smudge?
Sage.
So you're just burning sage?
Burning sage. It's usually wrapped in string.
Oh, okay. From what I understand, Krissie, you're an understudy with Melinda. What does it entail with you? I mean, what is she having you to study or research or learn to become a witch?
Oh, God, there's so much. History that I'm still learning. Different goddesses I'm still learning, different rituals I'm still learning. She's taught me a lot just in the few short months that I know. I still don't know everything. But right now I'm reading
I'm sorry, go ahead. That's fine, go ahead. I'm sorry. I thought you were done.
No, you can.
Well, what type of, do you read books? I mean, is there a test? I mean, how does this all work? I mean, is it like going to school, you read books, have tests on whatever, and if you fail, you got to go back and do it again, or what?
There is books, and I'm reading one of her books now that she gave me, and she does test me to see, if I know it, but there's not like actual school tests or you're going to fail.
Well, how can you tell if you've been, I mean, what says that you're a witch after you've already went through all this?
Are you talking about a natural witch or a textbook witch?
Both. Let's go both in.
Okay, well, I'm a natural witch. The things that I have and the things that come to me is natural, whether it's through visions, through me being a sensitive, through dreams. Textbook is different. You'd have to ask her. She's more of a textbook. She's the one that's learning.
Well, Krissie, back at you.
What made me a witch after the textbook?
Well, I mean, do you feel that you're a witch? I mean, like I said, is being tested to make sure you're a witch? I mean, there's, sure, anybody can say they're going to school to be a truck driver, but until you're actually, tested and out on the road and you don't kill nobody and you're able to do the job, then, you're a truck driver. Mm-hmm. Now, does that fall in line with being a witch? Experience.
I think, once you have your quickening and once you start doing spells and rituals, you're a witch. I'm not a natural one. I don't have natural abilities. But once you start practicing, you're a witch.
Well, see, when you have your quickening, you're giving your everything to your god or goddess. So they bless you. I was born with mine. There was a time when I suppressed my gifts because, when I was married at the time, my husband was Christian. And I was told that was evil, that was wrong, that was bad. And I actually kind of went dormant. And then I realized that, no, it's not. Even with the Christian faith, they say that, he created everything. Well, then he created me if that's their mindset. Mm-hmm. So if from the time, my first recollection of me being different when I was 4 years old, so that's not evil. I was a child, and I've never used my gifts, outright for something malicious or mean or anything of that nature. Now, have I used it for karma? Yes, I have.
Well, and please don't take offense to this. And I damn sure ain't defending Christians, but it's going to sound that way. But it sounds a lot like Christianity. And, so if I offend anybody as a Christian or witch, I apologize. But, I mean, you're pretty much saying the same things that they do. They got their own rituals. They got their own prayers. They got their own.
Yeah, but we're not going to tell you that you're going to hell and you ain't shit because you're not us.
Well, that's true. They judge.
Yes. We don't judge.
You all don't judge.
We allow you to find your own way.
But see, I mean, but it does sound, I mean, and it makes me question even Christianity
well, you
even
know
more.
what? It may sound that way because Christians, they keep stealing from us.
You and then all the other religions.
Exactly.
Christianity, to me, ain't nothing but a patchwork of all the religions.
It is. They're scavengers.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, like even with their story of their Christ. You know, there was a temple found in Egypt. It was the Temple of Horus.
Mm-hmm.
And the glyphs up above on the wall, you know, it said that he was born of the virgin Isis, the goddess Isis, and that there was a star and the three gods came to visit him. What does that sound like? The story of Jesus.
Mm-hmm.
And that's 26,000 years old.
Yeah. That's true. Well, that got heated there for a minute, didn't it?
I'm passionate.
Well, Krissie, you know what's your main goal of becoming a witch? Why are you doing it?
Why am I doing it?
Well, yeah, what's your main goal? Why are you doing it?
Just to really help people and to learn so much knowledge on it, and I don't know, I love it.
Well, see, you all keep saying helping people, but there's so many people out there that's so against, you know, anybody that's different. That especially, you know, in our area, if you're not a Christian, you're an outcast.
Mm-hmm.
So, what people are you going to help?
The ones the Christians that come secretly and ask me to do a healing candle for them, or to do a love spell, or to do some herbs, or to make my bath oils, or things of that nature to make them feel better, help them sleep. You know, it depends on whatever your craft is. Trust me, I have a lot that come to me in this town, but they would never admit it.
Well, Krissie, are you part of the covenant?
No, I would like to, maybe here and there, but I'd rather be solitary because I just like being alone.
Do you have to be in the covenant?
No. You can be a solitary witch. There's different types of witches. It depends on what your path is. We call it the divine path.
Okay. Well, why do pagans run through the woods naked? Does that still go into the freedom, of just being free, running through the woods naked?
It's nature. It's without any bondage, no clothing. Your energy is just, it can be more free. I feel more beautiful when I'm naked.
Would you, Krissie? Do you do that too? Do you feel that way?
I do. I feel more free.
What do you? I mean, I know y'all kind of touched on it, but what do you think pagans get such a bad rap?
Oh, I could answer that.
Okay.
We get a bad rap because that way, if you keep putting it down, there's no questions that need to be answered. Like why is so much of our stuff being used and celebrated in their doctrine?
Well, was there ever a first male witch? I'm sure they were, but do you all know who that might be?
No, I don't. I don't think anybody really could know unless you were there.
That 26,000 years old.
Yeah.
What does invoke the spirits mean?
Calling on them, meditation.
What type of spirits do you invoke? I mean, is there a certain type? Or
there's all types.
You just ask them for anybody?
It depends on what you're needing. If you feel like you're about to go to battle, whether it's at a job or whatever you're battling, whatever's going on with you call on Morgan.
Who's Morgan?
The goddess of war. If you ever seen the movie Braveheart,
mm-hmm.
when they painted their face blue because she's blue, they were showing respect to Morgan before they went into battle, asking her to protect them, to guide them.
Oh, okay. Krissie, what does drawing down the moon mean?
I know it's a ritual when the High Priestess invokes the goddess into her. Like the goddess speaks through her. I know Melinda has done it before.
Well, Krissie, again, what is moon water?
It's water charged by the moon. It has energy from the moon.
And how do you charge water to get moon energy? Or am I saying that wrong?
That'd be about right.
How do you charge it? I mean, is there a cord that reaches up? I know I'm going to sound funny on this. I'm sorry, but when you say charge moon water, I'm thinking, you plugging up the moon to some water.
I usually use a bowl, my cauldron sometimes. I put a mirror in the bottom of it. I fill it with water, and then on a full moon, I set it outside so that the moon's reflection and energy is brought down into the water. It's no different than a priest blessing holy water, and then supposedly, you throw it on somebody who's possessed, and they burn. It's your mind. It's whatever. If you believe it, you speak it, so shall it be.
So what's the moon water used for? Do you get demons out with it too?
I don't know. I haven't found one yet.
Me either. Well, Krissie, what's the belladonna used for?
I know it's to enhance spells. I haven't gotten it yet to use it, but I know it's very powerful.
And actually, I'll tell you a little story about belladonna. It's a sedative. It also can be a poison. You have to be careful. And like she said, you can use it to vamp up, because it's a very powerful herb to vamp up your spells. But back in the day, they used to give that to women to dilate their eyes, to make their pupils bigger, because that was, at that time, that was a fad, a trend of beauty. And then the men would have to, lead them around the room because they were half blind.
Yeah, I can't see where the hell I'm going.
Yeah, but it was a time when it was actually considered something of being beautiful.
Okay, well, Melinda, can a witch cast a spell on another witch?
Yes, but I wouldn't suggest it.
Would a witch know that you were the one who did it?
I would.
Wow. And what would you do if you knew a witch cast a spell?
I would bind them and send it back to them times 3.
Oh. So you witches better not be doing that shit. This girl, she fucked you up. So what does binding mean?
Binding is taking that energy and putting it, kind of hard to put into words. It's kind of like putting something to a halt. Okay, I'll give you an example. If I give an example, it might be easier to understand. If I have somebody that's trying to do a bad spell on me, I'll get their picture. And depending on whether I want to do it in a nice way, I would use like white ribbon. And I would say, let's say somebody's trying to ruin my job or ruin my life. Let's say it was Krissie, I would take her picture and I would take the ribbon and just start at the very top of the picture. And I would say, I'll bind you, Krissie, from doing harm to me and harm to others. And you do that until it's all the way to the end of the picture. And then usually I'll bury it. That way you take that and you put that negativity into the ground.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I did do a binding spell, and it did work. And it's still working.
Oh, cool.
Mm-hmm.
Well, when people find out that you two are a witch, are you treated differently? Do they expect something out of you, or do they judge you? Or, what do they want? Do they want something from you? Or, what is the normal reaction? This is for both of you.
Well, for me, it's usually like oh no, oh you're such a good person, Melinda. You're gonna go to hell, Melinda. You're gonna you need to find the truth. You need to find the light. You need to find That's usually some of the reactions that I get. And then I've got, like I said, I've got some that are even they're considered to be Christian or whatever. They're intrigued. They ask questions. They want to know more about it. Curiosity. And then I have those who do believe in me. That, like I said, they come to me and ask me to do spells or healing candles or whatever they're needing. But I can tell you this: when we were starting our church down in Richlands, it was a big mess. I mean, they came at us hard. They called us baby killers, child molesters, drug addicts, devil worshippers. There was even a preacher who actually had a heart attack. I don't know if he died or not, but they actually tried to blame us with that.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
Well, Krissie, is there a difference between a witch, a healer, a midwife, a sensitive, and a psychic?
To me, no. They're all the same.
I agree.
Okay. Expected you to just flat out answer that quick. Now I got to flip the page. Oh my God! We were almost out of questions. Oh shit. Okay, let me see. Have you or do you have visions? And if so, can you explain them? And that's for both of you. Krissie, you can go first.
I don't have visions, but I will say this: I have talked things into existence many times before, and I can't really explain that. I'll say something, and then the next day it happens, and if it's negative, it happens to me.
Okay, what about you?
I have them all the time, whether I'm awake or I'm asleep. Krissie was actually with me one time when I asked her. I said, "Do you hear a siren? Do you remember that?"
Yes.
And I'll let you tell the story. You tell it better than me because I was still trying to figure out, where it was coming from.
So we're coming back from a ritual in Richlands, and we had the music up pretty loud. And she said, "Did you hear that siren?" And I said, "No, there's no cars around." And she turns the music back up. 10 minutes later, like way back there, hundreds of feet back there, here comes an ambulance. And it was 10 minutes away. I don't heard it.
So that kind of stuff happens to me. I had a friend in the car one time when we were driving back to my home, and I told him, I said, in about 3 turns, there's going to be a deer in the middle of the road. He looked at me like, "What?" I said, "Watch." And sure enough, 3 turns later, there's a deer standing in the middle of the road. I don't know why I think certain things come to me and certain things don't. I would love to have some lottery numbers. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, especially when it was over $1 billion.
But I mean, this and stuff like that'll happen to me. I lost a dear friend. She came into my place of work, and she came in, and I hugged her, and I felt death all around her, and it actually took my breath. And she was like, "Okay, Melinda, what's going on here?" I didn't want to tell her. And she was like, "No, you tell me. I believe in you." And I said, I see death. I said, "I don't know what you're doing. I don't know what's going on with you." I said, "But I see you laying in your bed. That was on a Thursday, and that Saturday morning she was found in her bed dead."
Oh, gosh, what was wrong with it?
She had a heart attack.
So you can sense death, huh? Krissie, do you have any sensations like that?
No. Unless I haven't paid attention, but no, I've never had anything like that happen.
So back to you, other people that you're around, that you're close to, if you sense death, would you tell them?
Yes, I would.
Why?
Because just because I see something doesn't always mean it's going to come to pass. If I know somebody who is doing drugs, and I tell them, "Oh gosh, I just saw your death," maybe by me saying that they'll stop. It'll put fear into them. They'll stop. But if they keep doing what they're doing, I saved my parents' life one time. I was a teenager. I want to say maybe 13 or 14, and I had a dream that the train, because where we lived, there was only one way in, one way out, and you had to cross the railroad track. And I saw my mom and dad's car get hit by the train, and see my mother being who she was and passing down things to me. She knew. And my dad believed too, because my mother has proven herself time and time again. And I told him, I said, "Please don't know I'm going nowhere today." And they listened to me. They stayed home. And sometime that evening, around 5 or 6 o'clock, a car was hit by a train.
Oh shit! Damn.
And I do believe it would have been them if they had went.
Mm-mm. Well, Krissie, why doesn't a witch cast a shadow?
Why don't she cast the shadow?
Why doesn't a witch cast one?
I'm not sure about that one. Like a shadow, I don't know. I don't know that one.
When a witch doesn't cast a shadow is when she is kind of like out of her body, like astroplaning. Some witches have the ability to sit, and they can actually have their spirit leave their body and go wherever they're trying to go. And when they do, they don't cast a shadow.
Well, have either one of y'all astroplaned or astro projected, out of your body? Or had an out-of-body experience?
I haven't.
Have you?
I haven't. I've read up on it, and I was interested in doing it, but it kind of sounds scary.
Let me tell you something. It's scary as fuck. I had it happen to me, and I didn't even go in and try. That's when I was really bad. When I first found out I was bad sick, and I woke up, and it's like I'm looking right at the ceiling, right at it, like getting ready to hit it. And I put my hand up to try to stop, and I turn around and look down because I'm like, I'm in the fucking air. I look down, and I can see my body laying on the couch. And it freaked me out. I'm like, I ain't dying today. Hell no. And, I wasn't saying it, but I was thinking it, and then all of a sudden the door opened up, and then I fell back into my body, and I jumped up out of the couch, and it was my kids that just walked through the door from school. So, yeah, anybody wants to do that shit, fuck you, that is scary as shit. I know there's a lot of people say, well, I do it all the time. Well, yay for you. Fuck it, I ain't doing it no more. That terrified me.
But I want to say this here. I think everybody has magic inside them, a little magic. Especially if you're feminine, if you're a woman. I can give you an example of that. I know that I was home one time doing laundry, and I've heard other women say this as well, and they could hear their kids call out their name, Mom. And I remember hearing my daughter say, Mommy. And I just knew something was wrong. I knew something, she was in need. And the school called me like 10 minutes later to tell me to come and pick her up, that she was very sick.
Well, wouldn't that just be intuition?
Intuition, magic, whatever terminology you want to place on it.
Well, what's the difference between intuition and magic?
I think it's all one same thing.
Because I think I have a lot of intuition about stuff. Or I call it gut feeling. I just have a gut feeling about stuff. And I know you've mentioned it a few times that you think I've got something going on, which I keep denying it because I don't feel it like you.
You do have gifts. You do have gifts, Rodney. Why do you think that when we go on these investigations that you're the one person that the name is always called out?
I don't know.
Because they pick up on that. If you was to ever harness that, you'd be amazed what you'd be able to do.
Would I be able to fly? Be cool to be a fat man flying. Oh shit, who's calling me at fucking 10 o'clock at night? Well, Missy, you got to wait. I thought I had my ringtone. I had I'll call back in a minute after the show. But I apologize to anybody about that little problem. But we've had a fucked up night anyway. But I've enjoyed it tonight. I got to learn a lot. So, Krissie, what's the difference between Gothic and paganism? I hope I said that right.
The Gothic?
Yeah, Gothic.
Gothic is just really like a style, if that's what you're meaning. You know, like it's just a style. Paganism is your spirituality.
Okay. Well, so, I guess I'm just about out questioning. Well, I am out questioning, except this one. Is what would you all like for people to come away with knowing about witches, paganism, your beliefs that I didn't touch on tonight? Because I try to touch on a lot. And if I missed anything that y'all want to discuss, girls, here's the platform. You go right ahead and you preach it on.
Well, what I would want people to get away from that stigma that all witches are bad, all witches are out to do harm. Nature is about balance. You have good and you have bad in everything. But for some reason, witches we're bad. I mean, that's associated. We do not worship the devil. The devil is not in the craft. We do not even acknowledge him. That would be Luciferian. That would be Satanist. That would be something else. Now, do you have witches that do go to the dark side? Yes, you do. But not all witches, which is where it comes to our witches' law.
What you, Krissie?
I want to say, a lot of stigma comes from Hollywood. They gave witches bad names. That's where a lot of it comes from. And when we talked about Lilith earlier, Lilith is one of my goddesses, and I just want people to know she's not a demonic force that eats babies, because that's what they consider her as. She's actually a goddess that stands for feminism and the abused and broken women, and that's why I chose her, because she's very powerful.
And she's also not submissive. That was the reason a lot of people believe that she was the first woman created, and that why Eve was created.
Is that another reason why witches get a bad rap? Is because you all are very strong, independent women that don't need dick to run your life?
Pretty much. Chrissy's like, what?
Well, I mean, seriously, do you need a man? I mean, that's the thing. If you think about history, and I've studied history a lot, a lot of your patriarchy has always been men. Granted, there's some times and places in history that a woman has ruled and been the shit. And that's great. I think women should stand side by side equal with a man. But in today's world, that's not so. It's not. I mean, granted, we've come a long way, but to me, it seems like in what I've read and seen, a lot of witches are all by themselves or in a covenant, but there's no real man figure in their life.
Well, you shouldn't be codependent on anybody. That's the first thing. Whether a man or a woman, you should not need somebody in order to live a full life. You should want somebody. Nobody wants to be alone. We love sharing our space and our energy and our love, but you should never be codependent on anybody.
Well, does this cause you two to have troubles with relationships when men find out that you're a pagan and a witch?
Well, for me, it's about 50-50. I have men that want to date me or get to know me. Then they find out. I tell them up front, I'm a witch. I'm a sensitive. These are the things that are in my life. These are the things that I'm about. Then I've got some of them say, well, thank you very much. And then I've got some of them that are intrigued and they think it's beautiful and they think it's wonderful. They actually, I've got some people that, that I've met that are actually studying and learning because they don't want to be spoon-fed. They want to know for themselves.
How about you, Krissie?
I haven't really came across anybody negative yet. When I tell people, I do witchcraft and paganism, they're actually intrigued by it. I've yet to meet anybody that told me I was the devil and eat babies.
Huh? I've lost my concentration. Say it again. Oh, damn it.
No, I'm not saying it again.
Well, I'm sorry. I lost my place. Damn it.
Well,
What place you go? What place did I go? I went to my happy place.
I said I haven't met anybody that was negative yet.
Oh. I thought you asked me if I went to my happy place.
I mean, and for me, I don't know about Krissie, but for me, I have a lot of men that think it's sexy, they think it's beautiful, that it shows strength.
Oh, yeah.
What do y'all have? I know you two personally. I know y'all very strong, independent women. Do you all have trouble with, I know this is kind of personal, I'm kind of getting off thing, but it kind of stays with it. Do you all have any trouble with men, with you all being so strong and independent?
I do.
Yeah, I do too. Because, going through your whole life and being an independent person, you're used to it. And some men don't like that because it shows, I guess, they're vulnerable and they're weak and they don't like it.
Oh, that's a good point.
Because a lot of people want you to be needy. What
about submissive, though? Aren't there a lot of men out there in the society today like their women to be submissive to them?
Yes. Yeah, they can lead. They can. A pagan woman, we're shoulder to shoulder with our man. We don't walk behind. We don't walk in front.
Mm-hmm.
We believe in equality. We believe that no one is more than the other. And I think that should be in any relationship, whether you claim to be a pagan, a witch, a Christian, a Buddhist, whatever. It's about balance. You don't get with somebody so you can have ownership of them.
Yeah, slavery's supposed to went out a long time ago,
but it really hasn't.
No.
Not when it comes to women. Women, I think a lot of men are, like Krissie said, they're afraid. They're afraid to let us be in a leadership role. They're afraid to let us shine.
Mm-hmm. I agree. Well, y'all are two nice witches I know. I think the world of y'all.
Well, I wanted to, for the listeners, I wanted to put a little something out there. Paganism is everywhere. I mean, it's sometimes it's hidden and sometimes it's right there in the open and people don't even realize what it is. I actually I wrote down some companies that actually use gods and goddesses. One of them is Nike. It's the goddess of victory. You've got Versace. They use Medusa as their emblem. You've got Starbucks. That uses the goddess that has the twin tails. She's a siren. NBC. Hera. She's the wife of Zeus. You got the Minnesota Vikings, the team. If you look at their emblem with the Viking, it's actually it's a Norse god. You got the company Dove, like the Dove soap. It's based off of Aphrodite. Goodyear tires. There's the emblem of a winged shoe in the center of it, and it stands for Hermes. And he's a messenger god, and he's extremely fast. So those are just a few things I wanted to throw out there. Paganism is everywhere.
Okay. Well, if y'all ain't got nothing else to add, what are y'all's plans for the rest of the year?
Ghost busting with you.
Ghost busting. We don't ghost bust. We ghost investigate.
For me, it's going to be, continue with my paranormal family who I love very much. You know, using my gifts to help and seek out, you know, more truth in that realm. Also to continue my teachings, whether with Krissie or in my cousin. You know, continuing the show within the chaos that I very much love being a part of, because I've learned a lot from different people, different things. Working more on my craft and just living my life and being happy.
How about you, girl?
What was the question?
What's your plans? What's your plans for the rest of 2018?
Just keep doing what I'm doing and make my life better every day.
Short and sweet to the point.
That's all I want. Just, you know, good life for me and my child. That's all I want.
Yeah. And like I said, yeah, you've all. I say I'll keep praising you till there ain't no more breath in me. This girl Krissie has amazed me, people, how strong and independent she is. She's a young woman she's a single mother, and she works hard, takes care of business, man. And she does more in her life in a short period of time than most grown fuckers I've known for 40-some years.
And I just love her because she honestly, truly is a younger version of me. When I hear her speak, when I hear her speak and I hear about, you know, about things she's done and things that she wants to do, I smile because I'm just like, wow, that's a mini me.
Oh yes, Melinda. You know, we've shared so much experiences before we even knew each other. It's crazy.
Absolutely.
Well, next question: do y'all have a website? Or I know y'all both y'all gonna say "fuck you, Rod," but do y'all have any? You know, in case somebody wants to contact you all that's got any thoughts or questions or concerns, or just want to chit chat with you about, you know, your lifestyle and your beliefs and stuff like that.
I tell people, you know, like when we were in Clintwood, I had about 10 females come up to me. I said, if you want to talk to me about whether me being a sensitive or about my beliefs or anything at all, you can always hit me up on Facebook.
Yeah, you can hit me on Facebook.
Okay. Well, I appreciate everybody for listening to us tonight. I apologize for the delay again. We had some technical difficulties, but we at least got the good show. I thought it was going to go over, but it ain't going to go over too much. But y'all get a chance, come down tomorrow to the Russell County Commerce Center, the government building down there behind Wendy's. We're having the Phantom Fest starting at 10 a.m. until 6 p.m. Like I said, we got a bunch of speakers every hour. We got people that's selling all kinds of goodies and a bunch of cosplay folks and, you know, costume contest at 2:00 for all ages. So everybody get your family, get your friends to come on down. Let's have us a good time. We're also going to be serving food. Sugar's going to be there. They're going to have a food truck and a bouncy house and all that good shit. So y'all have a good night. We're going to hit the sack and see y'all next Thursday. Thanks, Krissie.
Bye.
You have a good night, and I'll see you tomorrow.
All right, bye.
Bye-bye.
Krissie.
That's it for us tonight. I want to thank everyone that took the time to listen in. I'd like to give a big shout out to the Vibe Radio Network and to Ryan for putting up with us. Also to all the first responders and our men and women in the armed services, thank you for your service and the sacrifices that you and your families make every day to keep our great nation safe. Tune in next week to another exciting show starting at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Everyone can go to our Facebook page Within the Chaos, and don't forget to like our page to see upcoming guests along with past shows, postings, or you can also go to my website at www.blackdiamondps.org or blogtalkradio.com/Vibe Radio Network. Also, we have a YouTube channel, so go to YouTube, look up Within the Chaos for past shows. Thanks again. Until next week, everyone have a safe weekend and have a good night. And love you all. Be careful out there.
I'm sorry, but I don't want to be an emperor. That's not my business. I don't want to rule or conquer anyone. I should like to help everyone if possible. Jew, Gentile, black man, white. We all want to help one another. Human beings are like that. We want to live by each other's happiness, not by each other's misery. We don't want to hate and despise one another. In this world, there's room for everyone, and the good earth is rich and can provide for everyone. The way of life can be free and beautiful, but we have lost the way. Greed has poisoned men's souls, has barricaded the world with hate, has goose-stepped us into misery and bloodshed. We have developed speed, but we have shut ourselves in. Machinery that gives abundance has left us in want. Our knowledge has made us cynical, our cleverness hard and unkind. We think too much and feel too little. More than machinery, we need humanity. More than cleverness, we need kindness and gentleness. Without these qualities, life will be violent, and all will be lost. The aeroplane and the radio have brought us closer together. The very nature of these inventions cries out for the goodness in men, cries out for universal brotherhood, for the unity of us all. Even now, my voice is reaching millions throughout the world, millions of despairing men, women, and little children, victims of a system that makes men torture and imprison innocent people. Those who can hear me, I say, do not despair. The misery that is now upon us is but the passing of greed, the bitterness of men who fear the way of human progress. The hate of men will pass, and dictators die, and the power they took from the people will return to the people. And so long as men die, liberty will never perish. Soldiers, don't give yourselves to brutes, men who despise you, enslave you, who regiment your lives, tell you what to do, what to think, or what to feel, who drill you, diet you, treat you like cattle, use you as cannon fodder. Don't give yourselves to these unnatural men, machine men with machine minds and machine hearts. You are not machines, you are not cattle, you are men. You have the love of humanity in your hearts. You don't hate, only the unloved hate, the unloved and the unnatural. Soldiers, don't fight for slavery, fight for liberty. In the 17th chapter of St. Luke it is written, the kingdom of God is within man, not one man nor a group of men, but in all men, in you. You, the people, have the power to create machines, the power to create happiness. You, the people, have the power to make this life free and beautiful, to make this life a wonderful adventure. Then in the name of democracy, let us use that power. Let us all unite. Let us fight for a new world, a decent world, that will give men a chance to work, that will give youth a future and old age a security. By the promise of these things, brutes have risen to power, but they lie. They do not fulfill that promise. They never will. Dictators free themselves, but they enslave the people. Now let us fight to fulfill that promise. Let us fight to free the world, to do away with national barriers, to do away with greed, with hate and intolerance. Let us fight for a world of reason, A world where science and progress will lead to all men's happiness. Soldiers, in the name of democracy, let us all unite!
Do you hear him? The Phantom is coming. Are you ready?
Phantom Fest is going to be held on November 3rd in Lebanon, Virginia at the Russell County Convention Center. You won't want to miss this one-of-a-kind con that combines all the mysteries and the macabre of UFOs, paranormal, gaming, horror, authors, comics, FX, metaphysical, spiritual, and more. Join us for $7 at the door. Tickets will only be $5 if you bring 2 non-perishable items for a local food bank. Children up to the age of 6 can join us for free. There will be costume contests, speakers, and just the camaraderie of freaks alike. Join us for the first ever Phantom Fest. You won't want to miss this.
If you would like to participate as a vendor or a sponsor or just to visit the con, please reach out to either Rodney Shortridge of Black Diamond Paranormal or Missy and Ashley Connor of the Connor Sisters.
Point out the colors of you, I see them too, and boy, I like them, I like them, I like them. We way too fly to partake in all this hate, we out here vibing, we vibing, we vibing.
Alexa, play Ariana Grande.
Okay.
With Amazon Music, a voice is all you need. Get tens of millions of songs. Download the Amazon Music app today.
Point out the colors of you, I see them too, and boy, I like them, I like them, I like them. We way too fly to partake in all this hate, we out here vibing, we vibing, we vibing.
Alexa, play Ariana Grande.
Okay.
With Amazon Music, a voice is all you need. Get tens of millions of songs. Download the Amazon Music app today.